What, Junior didn't make it?
I thought I put him in somewhere. The two weird and wonderful screw me up, to be honest with you.
All right.
Back to San Francisco, where Trent Williams is still holding out. Here's Diana Rossini. Take a listen.
When you talk about distractions, not only do we have Aiyuk, we also have Trent Williams who's holding out, okay?
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah, what
correct, because
what's the deal with him?
That's my point. Is just there's so much attention being drawn. Trent Williams is still holding out, and he still has not been given the guaranteed money that he's looking for. He's still in that space. There's been no significant movement there from what I was told.
Okay, more important for Purdy, Williams or Aiyuk?
Oh, I bet this is unanimous. It's Trent Williams by a mile. I think that I haven't done this full list, but if I were to talk about the most indispensable offensive players in the league, non-quarterback, take quarterbacks out of it, I would have CeeDee Lamb on that list. I would probably have Travis Kelce on that list, and I would definitively have Trent Williams on that list. The Niners' only actual team-wide weakness last year was the right side of that offensive line. And you could argue 4 of the 5 offensive line spots, but the left side didn't really matter because Trent Williams just erased everyone over there. He's been the best left tackle in football almost since he's been in football, for certainly the last decade. And the thing I will remind the audience about, there are less than 5 active football players who have taken a holdout into the season and missed games. Where it's like, no, I mean this, guys. And Trent did it with Washington for the bulk of a season. He was so upset. And so I think every other holdout, you think worst case scenario is like a Chris Jones situation where, man, he actually missed 1 game. I think they'll get it done, but I think that if Trent Williams were to miss games or suffer some type, because he's an older player, some type of like soft tissue injury because he missed camp and came in late, I think that is the one thing the Niners can't sustain. And last year when he was dinged was when they had their tough stretch in the middle of the season. So I think Trent Williams by a mile.
I think it's difficult for Brock because he's not overly mobile. So when you got guys like that, it's obviously the left tackle is going to be more important than a receiver, especially on a team that's filled with guys that are very capable and strong offensive weapons. The struggle for San Francisco is they are an older team, and now you're talking about guaranteeing money for a guy who's 36 years old. And I think, I'm not even sure what the oldest tackle was, but a few years ago, I think the oldest guy was 40. But
Jason Peters, and he wasn't very good at that point.
Yeah, there's 2 other guys on the street right now who are in their 40s, but they're not signed with teams. He is currently the oldest offensive lineman in the NFL. So now what are you going to do? How many years are you going to guarantee for a 36-year-old guy?
Yeah, it's Trent. And it's more to do with what's behind Trent, and how it changes. Like, not having Brandon Aiyuk, you have so many weapons. He doesn't change the scheme, but when you don't have Trent Williams, you got to change protection, because now you have one guy on the left side that you never have to help. You never have to send help. Now you have to send help. Now you got to possibly have a running back chip, or you have George Kittle on the left side to help out. Well, that leaves McKivitz on the right side, who you typically help on an island. You don't want that. So that's why it's Trent. Like, it's no, and this is no knock on, I want to say Jalen Moore, Western Michigan guy, so I respect it. It's no knock on him, but this is Trent Williams that we're talking about. These are that he's trying to fill are much, much larger.
But it seems like San Francisco doesn't have the conviction that Trent Williams is going to be the player that everybody knows moving forward. So maybe this season, but there's not a conviction, obviously, because there's this hesitation to give him guaranteed money that he's going to be the same player at 37 and 38 that he is right now, and they may have to go get a young guy anyways.
But here's the thing. They certainly have the conviction that he's going to be that guy this year, as evidenced by the draft.
Correct.
So that's what I found interesting, was they used their first-round pick as Brandon Aiyuk insurance, not as Trent Williams insurance. And I think Trent Williams saw that too and was like, oh, okay, you guys definitely need me.
But his money will be guaranteed the first week of the season anyways. For this season, it's the sticking point is the years
future
after
Oh,
that.
yeah, of course.
Hard.
And I think he's trying to leverage how much they need me right now and how much, Because a year from now, if Purdy plays well and they pay him after this year, there's going to be a lot of belt tightening in San Francisco.
Going to look different.
And Trent would be the easiest way to clear up a ton of cap space, because it's not that coach is making the important point. It's not that he's not making enough money. His salary's fine. It's that none of it's guaranteed. So they can, if they needed all of a sudden clear up $20 million in cap space, they just tell Trent Williams, we're done, or trade him maybe even to somewhere. And so the whole that whole thing.
Greg, we saw Chris Jones sit in the stands for the Week 1 game and watch the Chiefs lose,
Yeah.
and it felt like, from like little hints and just like what we know about Chris Jones, that ate him up a little bit, that he was making a financial decision, but he would like to be there, to the point that he literally went to the game. Do you think that Trent Williams could have a financial decision, but also see like, hey, if I'm missing a few games and we start to go backwards, I'm kind of hurting the team to the point where I'll put the calculus on my finances and commitment to the team will change?
Yeah, once you take this stance, you're not thinking about the team and/or organization.
So they go 0-3. You're like, hey.
Well, it just shows his worth.
And to Nick's point, there's a precedent that
he'll do
miss
it.
games.
Yeah.
And
Was Washington? I don't remember. Was Washington? Washington was not contenders.
But I don't think that's the.
Yeah, it wasn't about the contender or not contender, but just the fact that a player is willing to go deep into the season with a holdout. You're dealing with a guy
it's the left
serious.
tackle, guys.
It's right.
It's the left. This is your primary individual that protects your quarterback's blind side, because every quarterback except Tua is right-handed.
Real quick, because we're fair on this show, we started the show with a report from yesterday's Brock Purdy practice by Brock Purdy skeptic Grant Cohn. I said the problem with the Niners coverage is we have Brock Purdy skeptic Grant Cohn and Brock Purdy blood brother David Lombardi. Here's David Lombardi's take on today's practice.
No way.
Brock Purdy was sensational at today's very long practice. Almost perfect.
Wow.
21 of 25 with 3 intentional throwaways. He knew it. They knew it was intentional. Pinpoint accuracy. Brandon Aiyuk watched the entire practice from very close on the sideline. He then did follow it up with another tweet about Purdy. Purdy has 2 elite physical qualities. His shirt area burst, evidenced by his top-tier 10-yard splint, and his pump fake mastery. Many have been very wrong in failing to recognize these. Yeah, I got to tell you, I never thought Brock Purdy had top-tier 10-yard split, but David Lombardi is the guy who authored the
Is that immeasurable?
Brock Purdy. Yeah, he said he has the same 10-yard split as Lamar Jackson, which is why he's a combination of Lamar Jackson and Drew Brees. That's a real tweet that existed until he deleted it.
Is that from 49ers?